Welcome back to Bryce Wes Fishing. Hey everybody, we've got a video, a complete walkthrough of a Hobie Pro Angler stern to bow all the way through. I'm talking fast. I'm trying my best to keep this video short for you so you can get right to the meat and potatoes, but there are a ton of features that come with the Pro Angler. We've got the video broken down into 3 parts for you. Number 1 is storage. Number 2 is control, like your rudder. And number 3 is miscellaneous. If during the video I've gone too fast, you can go to hobie.com, find your kayak listed on the website, and then on the actual kayak you will see plus icons. You can click on those and it'll give you more details for the features. During the video you will hear me mention several other accessories and things that you can add on. I will make sure to include all website links for all of those items if I can find them. So check the description. So this video is for you folks that are considering buying a Hobie, or for those of you that just want to see what all the hype is about. We hope you enjoy the video. Please hit that subscribe button for us so we'll keep making videos. 93% of our viewers are non-subscribers. Let's change that. So please like, share, comment, subscribe, tell your friends, all that good stuff. And as always, thanks for watching. So let's dive right in and start on part 1, which is storage bucket. Here we go. Let's start with the bucket. So here's your bucket up front. It's got these fancy schmancy bungee cords here. Take those off. There she goes. So you've got your little strap here to keep the lid from flopping down. It buckles here if you like to just take that off. And there's your bucket itself. This is just some wiring I did on my kayak. Obviously doesn't come like that. Good space here, but it's enough for me to fit these 2 big power boxes on the inside. You can pull the bucket out and you've got a little bit of storage underneath. Also access on each side if needed. So there's your bucket. And of course you got your watertight seal here, or just some kind of gasket. I've never had any issues with water getting on the inside. Next is the hatch that goes under your feet. So let me show you. This is what we got. This is actually what comes stock with the unit. 2 small tackle boxes, and as you open the lid, it kind of elevates for you. These I felt like were just too small for me. I got rid of these and I went online and I found this bucket that you can buy. It just gives you more space, but I will put the link for this box. On the inside of the hatch, you can see a basket here. Usually, like I said, car keys, chapstick, that kind of stuff. You can take this out, now you have access. So there's the hatch. Next up, we have our side pockets. So you've got 1 on each side. This will sit to the right and left of you where you sit. Just a thick rubber netting. If you look at the front of the kayak, you have built-in rod holders. The PA12 has 4, PA14 has 6. They're there if you need them. At the back, you have a twist and seal hatch here. I'm not gonna take my tackle box off right now, but just about every kayak comes with one of those. At the back of the kayak, you have a rear access area. Open this up, you can access the inside, but you can also access your rudder. While we're still talking about storage, I want to share this real quick. This is my Ketch measuring board. And before I got a Hobie, this thing was like this. It was up in my lap. Now I know I've got my poles there, but this board fits flat on the bottom of the kayak. I've had a lot of fish jump out, but I have not had one fish jump out since I got my Hobie. All right, so let's move on to the steering components. And the first thing we'll look at is the rudder. Right here is your rudder, and you can see how it is recessed into the kayak itself. Okay, I've got a lever up top I can pull to make that drop. Let me show you that real quick. I've got a lever right here, right? It says rudder. If I pull this and release, now the rudder is dropped. This is also a breakaway rudder. So if you hit something on the bottom. Over here is a skeg. That also is in the up position. I'm not gonna drop that right now. Here's your skeg. So when I got a kayak, I didn't know anything about a skeg. I actually had to look it up and said, what is the reason? If you're traveling longer distance and you're just trying to stay straight, this assists with that. You got a lot of boat waves, you can drop this down and theoretically it'll help you stay straight. I leave my skeg down all of the time. So with the levers up top, you've got your rudder, and over here, you've got your skeg. With the control of the rudder, this is the lever that controls the rudder. With the controls, you've got a lever on the left and a lever on the right. This middle controls for your 360 drive. I'll get to that in just a minute. There is no control for the skeg. Skeg just stays straight down. Right control, left control for your rudder. Also with the rudder, if you're dealing with windy conditions and you're feeling like the the current is moving your rudder, over here you have a rudder tension control. You can make your rudder either tight or loose. I've never had a reason to make it loose, but yeah, rudder tension. All right, so let's talk about why a lot of people buy a Hobie, the 360 drive. This thing actually comes with foot pedals or foot straps that go from here to here. I usually just take mine off. On the drive itself, you can see you've got several different adjustments on the left and right. If you're taller, you might want to put the adjustments on 4 or above. I'm about 6 foot tall, so 4 fits me fine. If I put my seat out of the studio position, I'll tell you about that in just a second. You're sitting more back. It's a little more difficult to reach it on a 4. I'll drop it down to a 3 or a 2. On the 360 drive, you can see this here. That is your direction that your drive is pointing. As you're steering your drive, this is the control. This upper knob, this is the control for your 360 drive. So as you turn that, this will turn and show you what direction. So let me show you how to put it in. So before I put this in, I actually forgot to mention, these fins on the bottom of the drive, using the Hobie and you get in shallow water, these actually break away. Like I said, it's hard to do one-handed here. There you go. So if you hit the bottom, it will break away. It snaps right back into place. So you're good to go. So let me show you how to put it in. Usually what I do is before I put it in, so you can see I've got my arrow pointing forward, and obviously make sure the 360 drive control is pointed forward. Once I've got that pointed forward, I simply just slide the drive in, seat it at the back, and then if you push forward, it clicks into place. That is it. To get it out, all you have to do is pull this red lever. I can't do it one-handed. If you pull this red lever back, you can simply just pull this up fairly easy. This is one of the main reasons why people love the Hobies. The first time out on a Hobie, I really feel like I was at a disadvantage. I can literally do a 360 standing still in the Hobie with this. We had a pedal drive before this, and if you wanted to get around a dock or you just wanted to turn around, there's just a lot of turning, and they're not tight turns. This thing turns on a dime. So this is a huge advantage and one of the biggest reasons we got a Hobie. Okay, the next thing we have, this is a little tricky to show you because I'm sitting on the trailer, but you can see this here. That is my transducer. I use a Lowrance, I think I have like a HDS 9 transducer. This is made to be recessed up into the body of the kayak. So when I'm pulling up on a bank, all I have to do is pull up my lever. Pull up my lever and it won't get damaged. It won't scrape the gravel. When I'm back out in the water, all I have to do is pull my lever. Transducer drops back down for me. When I'm done, again, just pull the lever and we're all set. That's your recessed transducer. On the front of the Hobie, you can see this little guy here. This pole, if you go back to the beginning of the video when I was showing you inside the tub, this goes all the way down. Hobie actually makes, it's either a wind sail, I think it is actually a wind sail. They make a wind sail for it. I think they make an umbrella too, but I'm not sure if that's where the umbrella hooks. I believe that's where the wind sail hooks up. I've never seen anybody on a Hobie with a wind sail. If you wanted the option, it is there for you. At the back, we also have 2 built-in rod holders. Personally, like I said, this is a 2-part video. The second part is going to be our setup itself. These are the Hobie rod holders that you can order. I prefer the ones that you can order. I like my rod holders to be right beside me. Nothing wrong with these. These are made for more or less trolling or just storage, I guess. 1 rod holder here, 1 rod holder here. Next up is the seat. I've heard this thing is made out of airplane metal, whatever that means. This does not come with it. This is a company that supports our local club, so we support them. This is just a kayak cushion for an extra support. It's not necessarily needed, but this is your Hobie seat. Something kind of cool with the seat, if you're wanting to adjust the back, you've got a lever here. You can see how the seat scooches up. And then over here, this is a control for the bottom. So you got seat adjust controls on both sides. Whenever you put the seat in, I kind of already did it because I'm trying to do this one-handed, but basically you just grab your seat and put the front leg in this socket here, this front leg in this socket here, and then it sits back on this guy. Now once that's on there, you've got a strap here that you just slide on here and this little metal ring, and now you're good to go. Okay, so this position, I call this the studio position. You can see how high it sits off the kayak itself. But if you wanted to get lower to the kayak, I usually do this when it's really windy outside and I want my center of gravity to be lower to the kayak. You can see this kickstand right here is what they call it. If I lift the seat up and then pull my kickstand, you can see how that moves, right? So once you lift this bottom seat up and pull your kickstand lever, the seat goes all the way to the bottom of the kayak floor. So it says lower. You can see a little bit of a difference there. So again, I usually do that when it's really windy outside and I'm just trying to keep my my center of gravity pretty close to the kayak. Also, I've reclined this probably maybe at this angle here for those long strides, and then you just adjust, bring this down to maybe a 1 or a 2. It's a relaxed ride. So let's talk about the built-in trolley system. So when I first got this Hobie, I still feel like I just keep finding features on here that I just didn't know about. And I Googled some things before I made this video just to make sure I'm covering all the bases here. But when I got it, I kept seeing these little guys here. Couldn't figure out what they were, but I went online and read, and check it out. You take that out, a threaded female in here. This is for a trolley. So an anchor trolley system. It's already built in. 2 at the back, 1 here, 1 here, and 2 at the front. When I saw these, I assumed this was just securing the handle inside, but it's not. This is for a trolley system, so you don't have to drill holes in the kayak. Okay, so let's talk about these 2 real quick. And before I go any further, I forgot to even talk about the H-rails here. These are called your H-rails. This is where you mount all of your kayak accessories. The reason I bring that up, I'm just gonna call these side mounts here. There's 1 on each side, obviously. Hobie actually makes another H-rail that goes from this side to this side. So if you're ever looking at these kayak fishing videos and you see people with 2 fish finders up top, that's what they're using. So I'll see if I can find that part and put the link in the description for you. Last thing I will mention are the paddles. There's 1 here and 1 on the other side. It's 1 paddle, obviously, and it clicks together. Hobie does give you a handle in on 1 side, so you can always take this off if you would like and connect them together, or if you're just kind of pushing yourself off a log, you've got that handy. So they have a mount here. Honestly, I've never had to take these off. The Hobie can go in about 4 inches of water, as long as whenever you're kicking the pedal drive, just try to keep the kick, you know, within 3 or 4 inches, something like that. So I'll usually, if I'm stuck on something, I'll use my net and push myself off. But yeah, there's your paddle. So there you have it, folks. Complete walkthrough of a Hobie Pro Angler 360 drive. One more thing I want to mention, and I'll leave you alone. We all know Hobies can be very expensive. If your local dealer does not provide in-house financing for you, if you check the description, I've put in there a couple links for some finance options for you. Interest-free financing. So check that out. I hope that helps. Thank you again for watching the video. Please like, share, subscribe, tell your friends, all that good stuff. And as always, thanks for watching.